Hi everyone, my name is Naya Napisha and my NPN is 250810101111. In this video, I will be reviewing two critically acclaimed drama films that focus on personal growth, emotional struggle, and self-discovery. The films are That Post Society, directed by Peter Weir and released in 1989, and Good Will Hunting, directed by Gus Van Sant and released in 1997. Both movies belong to the drama and coming-of-age genre, and although they are set in very different environments, they share similar themes about identity, freedom, and emotional healing. That Post Society won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay, while Good Will Hunting won Best Original Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor for Robin Williams. These films remain relevant today because they explore struggles that many people still face, especially young adults, such as pressure from society, fear of failure, and difficulty. First movie, That Post Society. That Post Society is set in 1959 at Welton Academy, a prestigious boarding school known for its strict discipline and emphasis on tradition. The plot centers around the arrival of John Keating, a new English teacher who challenged the school's rigid values by encouraging students to think independently and embrace poetry as a form of self-expression. The storyline is not complex, but it is emotionally powerful. Its originality lies in how poetry becomes a symbol of freedom and rebellion. The pacing is slow and deliberate, which allows the audience to fully understand the emotional pressure faced by the students. One of the most memorable scenes is when Keating tells his students to stand on their desks to see the world from a different perspective. The tragic turning point near the end of the film emphasizes the devastating consequence of emotional repression and authoritarian control. Character development in this film is one of its strongest aspects. Neil Perry represents passion and ambition that are constantly suppressed by parental expectations, while Todd Anderson begins as a shy and insecure student who gradually finds his voice. Their constant journeys highlight different responses to pressure. Robin Williams delivers a standout performance as John Keating. His portrayal is warm, inspiring, and deeply human. He does he doesn't force rebellion, but instead invites students to think for themselves. The supporting cast also performs well, making the emotional conflicts feel realistic and relatable. Peter Weir's direction is subtle but effective. The cinematography uses method colors and structured framing to reflect the school's oppressive environment. In contrast, outdoor scenes feel more open and free. The soundtrack is minimal, allowing silence and dialogue to carry emotional weight, especially during the most heartbreaking moments. The central themes of the film include individuality, freedom of thought, and the dangers of excessive control. Personally, I find that post society emotionally impactful, and timeless. It is especially meaningful for students who feel trapped by expectation. The second movie, Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting tells the story of Will Hunting, a janitor at MIT who possesses extraordinary mathematical intelligence but struggles deeply with emotional trauma. Unlike traditional genius narrative, this film focuses less on intellectual achievement and more on emotional healing. The pacing of the film is character-driven and balanced. The story developed through dramatization rather than dramatic action, which make it feel realistic and intimate. One of the most powerful scenes is the repeated line, "It's not your fault," which marks a major emotional breakthrough for Will. Will Hunting is a complex character shaped by abuse, fear of abandonment, and self-sabotage. Matt Damon portrays this layer convincingly, convincingly, making Will feel authentic rather than exaggerated. Robin Williams delivers an emotionally rich performance as Sean Medway, a therapist who connects with Will through empathy rather than authority. Their relationship is the emotional core of the films. Supporting characters such as Chucky also play an important role by pushing Will to realize his potential. Gus Van Sant's direction is grounded and realistic. The cinematography is simple, focusing on conversation and facial expression rather than visual spectacle. The soundtrack, particularly songs by Elliott Smith, adds emotional depth and reinforces the film's melancholic tone. The film explores themes of trauma, self-worth, and the fear of vulnerability. I appreciate how Good Will Hunting shows that intelligence alone is meaningless without emotional growth. The film feels honest and deeply human. In conclusion, that both Society and Good Will Hunting are powerful films that explore personal growth from different perspectives, one through education and conformity, and the other through therapy and emotional healing. Both films leave both films leave a lasting emotional impact and remain highly relevant today. Overall, I highly recommend both movies to students and young adults who are navigating pressure, expectation, and self discovery. Thank you.